Good afternoon everyone and welcome to Northumberland Zoo on YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. What a week it's been. We've literally had every type of weather you could possibly expect. We've had snow, we've had sideways rain, we've had intense wind, we've had freezing ice, we've had hail, and we've had sun. And do you know what? It's been so frustrating. You can see behind me, I'm currently stood in the guinea pig pool. So a lake was not part of one of the features that we had intended for their enclosure. However, we seem to have gotten one. So this is actually where Main Street's going to go. But at the minute, I think we're going to have to build our guinea pigs some freaking boats because, yeah, there's no way that's, there's no way this is going to be dry. But yeah, so we're on a mission. We've got their main house almost kind of laid out. It's just... Do you know what? It's just foul. I think that's the best word to describe what's happened here at the zoo with all this weather. So here we are inside of the guinea pig inn. It's dry in here at least. So we're gonna have a little kind of double layer unit in here. So there'll be a shelf in here and the guinea pigs will be able to go up on the outside of the building and enter in different doors like a proper like Western style saloon hotel. So yeah, we are hoping on having the guinea pigs ready for Easter, but my goodness, it completely depends on the weather. If you tuned in last week, thank you so much for your words of support about Bert the raccoon. I was really humbled by the amount of people that kind of said really nice things about it, and I put a post on Facebook about it with some lovely photos of him as well, and that was picked up by BBC and ITV2 and the Northumberland Gazette. So who knew how many people that Bert had reached, but there's been some great photos shared of people over the years that got to meet Bert and our other raccoons as well. So thanks so much to everyone for your kind words. If you haven't seen that video, then the link's up in the top of the video now. Thank you also to the people who have donated things from our Amazon wishlist and our Gifthero wishlist. The animals have had some great enrichment in this last couple of weeks. So thanks so much. And if you want to donate anything, you can go into our description and get the links to our Amazon wishlist below. The weather is really setting us back, to be honest. It is so claggy, as you can see from our wild western village, which is actually meant to be quite dry. That's generally what the Wild West looks like, but as you can see right now, it is not. My dad decided to dig this out yesterday so that we could put a little base down so we could put the sand on to make the main street. But unfortunately, because it was raining so much, as soon as he dug it out, we actually made a lake and we've almost like flooded the mine. So we just need all this to go away now. We'll see what it's like next week. But we'll head over to the domestics area anyways and see what's happening over there. But while I'm going over there, one of the things that we had happen this week was we had the Northumberland Wildlife Trust get in touch because they wanted to survey our zoo site and the area kind of around us to see if it would be suitable for releasing harvest mice, which would be great because obviously we're going to be breeding them here at the zoo. So if we could breed them here and release them here, that's a win-win. So let me show you a little bit about what happened and what's involved in harvest mice surveying. So today we have the Northumberland Wildlife Trust team down here coming to do harvest mice surveys on site. So many of you won't have seen this part of the zoo before. This is the additional 35 acres that we have to kind of expand into, but also to have as like a wildlife nature reserve. So the Wildlife Trust wanted to come down and see what the feasibility of actually having harvest mice living on site. Historically, there are records from the 1970s of a nearby property where harvest mice were recorded originally, so it would be interesting to see if extant populations still exist. The team have showed us some examples of different types of nests that you can find, and some of the grass that's up on the hills there, all mixed in with brambles, makes the perfect habitat for harvest mice. So who knows, maybe we could be releasing some of our captive bred harvest mice on site in the future.
It just gives us an idea of where the harvest mice are, what kind of habitat they're using, and with them being a vulnerable species, especially to climate change, increased agricultural use, and also development taking away their habitats. It's just really important so we can understand where they are, how they're interacting with the environments, and kind of how we can kind of repeat these environments throughout Northumberland or throughout the country, to allow harvest mice populations to kind of spread along these corridors. everybody always thinks I'm bringing them heroes when I bring out these nests. So this is one from this year. So that's a breeding nest.
It looks just like the ones they make in the zoo.
Yeah, I was saying to Maxine, I was quite surprised that they actually made them in loose grass.
Yeah.
So normally these are, well, normally they're always woven into the grass in the wild.
Yeah,
so when you
so
try and
they're
pull them out, they're still attached. And this one was found in the reeds, so you can see like the Phragmites reed heads in there. If you give them a squish, it's fine, you can squeeze them. They're very bouncy, so that's another way to tell that they're harvest mice nests.
Do they always have just the one opening at the front as well? Because ours sometimes have like a back door.
No, they can have multiple openings. When they're breeding in the wild, they'll close the openings up, and the mum doesn't stay with them. She'll go into her own nest, which is a lot more loosely built. It's not as round, so these are a little bit squished. There's the kind of tennis ball shape. So it's
that was made of hair.
Oh, that is a bird's nest, so I always bring them together. So you can
There's
see
a bird's nest as well.
Yeah, the difference. So if you look at the back, you can see how they're like woven into circles. But
so that's most likely going to have pups in it.
Yeah, so anything like kind of this circular shape is a breeding nest. Anything that's a little bit flatter and a little bit rougher made. But then this is the bird's nest here, which you can see, rather than being kind of woven like this, it's more circular
and compact.
So yeah, and they tend to also contain other material like feathers or moss. Most of the nests we found this year have been in grass, and they've been weirdly at the base or about half a metre off is what we've been measuring. But it's all kind of in relation to the height and stability of the vegetation. But there's really nice habitat around here. There's kind of continuity. There's lots of cockspur, which is their favourite, one of their favourite grasses to make their nests out of, and quite a nice food source of brambles, berries, the cow parsley and things that they eat.
So we've had a little look on all of the kind of additional land adjacent to the zoo for us to expand into, and we're now having a little look around some wilder areas of the zoo. So we're down by the lemurs now, and we just had some excellent habitat over between the capybara and the European wildcat as well. So there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of really promising habitats that could potentially support harvest mice. We have found loads of vole nests. If there's any owls here at the zoo, they're obviously having a great time. So yeah, it's just really interesting, really nice for the team to get involved with something a bit different, obviously conservation related and all about native species. So having these little set aside areas in the zoo, pardon the weeds, we're feeding the bees, is also great for other species like the harvest mice as well. Just untouched little tussocks of grass is exactly what they need to live in. So, you know, think twice before you overgroom your gardens and think that a manicured garden is exactly what you want, because it's not what the wildlife wants. Finally, we finished off in the lemur enclosure checking out to see what type of habitats were available in there. And even though we didn't find any harvest mice nest, I did get to film some super cool lemur behaviour that I've never filmed before, and that is the stink fighting ritual. And this is where the lemurs lick the glands on their wrists, and then they get their tail and they rub the glands all the way along their tail, making them super smelly, and then they waft their tails at other lemurs. In a stink fight is what it's called. And that's how they kind of fight for dominance within troops. So I was super pleased with that. Stink fighting? I've got video.
It's that time of year, everything's getting pissy.
If you want to take part in any kind of harvest mice surveys or anything like that, then head over to the Northumberland Wildlife Trust website, and they've got all kinds of stuff on there about how you can take part and volunteer in wildlife surveys. I'll put the links in the description as well. Right, so here we are in our new domestics area, and it is claggy, but it looks amazing. And at this exact moment in time, even though it's looking brilliant from a construction point of view, the ground itself is so claggy. Here at the zoo, if you're not aware, we have a lot of clay, so the soil is not very easily drained. We've got some equipment and stuff coming to help us drain it, but for now, just look at it. The keepers, bless them, have been trucking on despite these conditions because they're so keen to get the goats shifted. But my goodness, what a mission and a half it has been. based on what you can see here, I'm not entirely too sure this is going to be ready for Easter, just because it's just going to look rubbish. And the last thing we want to do is put animals from a clean enclosure into, you know, kind of this. All we need is a bit of a time window where we just literally have some really good sun and wind, and that'll dry this right up. But it's just minging, for want of a better word. But it's been great what the keepers have done. You see there's whole bunches more posts been put in. We've got two big platforms here with a dodgy looking bridge in the middle, which obviously looks dodgy for people, but for goats it's going to be brilliant. There's a bigger bridge there. I think I've got some photos and video of the keepers testing them out. There's some little funny rocky bridges at the back there. We've got like a funny teepee walking over platform as well. So loads of stuff for the goats to do. So when they move in, they're going to absolutely love it. And the keepers have done an amazing job. This has just been them. This has just been their project. The only thing that we've kind of done is the main tower and dug the holes for the post. But yeah, we can't wait to let the goats in here. But like I said, if it's still like this in a few weeks' time, I don't really want people wandering around and taking photos of really, really muddy goats. So we'll play that one by ear.
What do you want me to do here now?
We're just going to sit down on the soil.
Okay. In between, or?
Yeah, come on down. No, down, straight down. That's it. There. That's it.
What do you think?
That's really good, yeah. What do you think?
It's coming on really well. We can definitely see the end of it now. Got ramp to go up there, ramp to go up there, all the walkways and a couple of little platforms over there. And then we've got the really high platforms going on the other side of the house, which we can't do until the sides are on the house. So yeah, we've got the swing ready to go up, and then tomorrow we're going to bring the tyre in, tying that up as well. Get the wobbly bridges done, seesaw. Yeah, it's nearly there.
The things that we are definitely planning on having open for Easter is the guinea pigs and their boats, and our new nocturnal bit, which is the mouse lemurs and the sugar gliders. So there'll definitely be new stuff ready for Easter, and we've got a little surprise as well, which will be coming this week too. So there'll be at least 3 new things for you guys to see when you come down. Now, there's been a few videos that have popped up on zoolife.tv, so I don't know if anybody's downloaded the app and had a look at the webcams from last week, but there was a really, really great response from the raccoon webcam. So that's a 24-hour live webcam that we've got in our raccoons and also our snow leopards. And I just wanted to show a few of the little highlights of what other people have seen and recorded on the ZooLife platform. So anybody who downloads our app and actually goes into the raccoons or the snow leopards can view either of those webcams for free. ZooLife.tv is normally a paid service, but because we are hosting those 2 webcams, anybody who uses our app gets access for free. And what's really cool is when you've got it on the app, you can take screenshots or you can take little snippets of video. So there's a couple of really cute videos that I've seen on there that people have recorded and been watching our raccoons 24 hours a day. I just wanted to share with you because they are really, really sweet. So these are the safety barriers that are going in for the goats, and you might recognize them, reused, recycled. They're from Dozer's little birthday pen that we had up around the little mushroom house. So we repurposed them, and they're going to be the goat safety barriers.
Got it?
So it's all been happening at the zoo in the last week. Honestly, it's just the worst conditions though. So that's all I've got for this week. If you haven't done already, please do like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every little helps. We're trying to grow our channel so that we can start monetizing and actually supporting the zoo in an alternative way. And obviously by bringing you behind the scenes updates and extra information about the zoo, we hope that you appreciate it. So we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to us. And we're bringing out videos every single Thursday. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.